Hi Shankar.
Yes, Adi, bolo.
Welcome to Sudeep Audio's channel.
Thank you, boss.
We've known each other for I think about 10 years now.
And congratulations on your channel.
Thank you so much.
I heard that it's doing extremely well.
Thank you
It's
very
great,
much.
yeah.
And we got associated with our first product called Swarshala and Swar Plug.
Which is going really strong in
Thanks.
our Swarshala and Swar Plug is one thing that I think no project of mine is complete without using that software. So
Thanks so much.
thank you for introducing me to that, really.
Okay. We are here to firstly talk about your musical journey. You can just share whatever you feel like, because everybody knows that you have an engineering background. Now there are a lot of students of music or talented kids across the country who want to also become musicians, singers, etc. Yet they don't know what paths to take, etc. That's what this whole channel is all about. It's an effort to bring reality of musicians with today's generation.
Okay.
So if you could share with us a little more about your childhood, your upbringing, your musical journey.
See, honestly, I am from a very, very middle class South Indian background and very, very simple values, and where, like any other middle class South Indian family, education plays a very important role. So I don't know for what reason, because I think everybody was doing it. All my friends were, and that was at that time I think the most safe and secure thing to do, where you're guaranteed to get some kind of success was either become an engineer or a doctor. Now everything has changed. We've got so many avenues, so many possibilities. So I think I just followed the crowd and went. Yeah, I mean with all my friends, and just went ahead and did my engineering. But honestly, I didn't enjoy it that much. But still I did it. I finished it. I started working. The job I enjoyed. I started working for about 7-8 months. Sorry, I worked. But there was this inner desire always, because along with my engineering, I used to be musically very active, and whenever music used to happen, that used to excite me. That part of my life was very exciting and very challenging, and I could spend 18 hours doing music, but I could not spend 2 hours studying.
Okay.
So I was that kind of a person, which I think many people are. But it's very difficult to take a decision, because you're worried about your family, you're worried about your future, you're worried about being secured, earning money, being able to sustain in this country. So all those fears were there. When I decided to quit my job and get into music full time, by then I was kind of already performing here and there a little bit, singing.
How old were you? Roughly?
Just after my engineering. I don't
23.
remember. Yeah, must be that. Yeah.
But in your childhood, did you take any formal training?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I've learned music with a background of Carnatic classical music, which I feel is fantastic. It's a fantastic form of music. Carnatic classical is so strong melodically, rhythmically, and your fundamentals of music become so strong that you're able to survive in many situations, musical situations, which is thrown at you. You're able to listen to something and grasp it, analyze it, decode it. Just like how in computers you have binary, zeros and ones. Everything can be decoded into 0 and 1. Similarly in music, the binary of music according to me is the 7 swars, sa re ga ma pa dha ni. Those are the binary equivalent in music. Any piece of music that you hear anywhere can be broken down into the sa re ga ma pa dha ni. The ability to do that is called swaragyan, as you call it. You can develop a swaragyan if you learn Carnatic classical music, especially Hindustani classical music also. Yes, you can develop, but I always have felt that when you learn Carnatic, somehow your swaragyan of being able to grasp something and decode it into music, into the musical binary 7 notes, is easier. So I was the lucky one who learned that, and I also had an exposure to Hindustani classical music and lots of other forms, ghazals and so many forms of music staying in
But
Bombay.
was it a culture at home, or did you kind of move around with such
Yes,
friends?
you know, my parents, they always loved music. There was music playing in my house, but nobody was a performer or anything like that. We just loved to listen to music. And I was a black sheep in the family who got into music. Yeah.
Because a lot of people and musicians I've spoken to have said that I grew up listening to all Western bands and Western forms of music, and somehow not many of them listen to Indian or Hindi music, film music, or Carnatic or Hindustani so much.
Yeah.
So, like you said, you learned this formally.
I learned formally. At the same time, I listened to a lot of stuff. I listened to everything from, Western music to
Right.
Carnatic to ghazals to,
Right.
even folk music, all
Correct.
kinds of music.
So
Because
a lot
every
of-
form of music excites me. Yeah.
A lot of kids, also like to listen to music today. But how does one know that? Like, how did you know rather that yes, engineering doesn't excite me. Music is something that I want to do. It could have been some sport. It could have been some other activity, pottery, anything.
See, honestly, you develop an inclination towards a particular thing, and then you should let that flow. See, that is the greatness of my parents. They realized the inclination that I have towards music from the age of 3.5, 4 years, when I was 3.5, 4 years old. So they let me blossom in that. They always they taught me whatever I wanted to learn, whichever instrument that I wanted to learn, vocals I wanted to learn. So all these things they encouraged me. So I think parents should definitely encourage their children if they see a spark. When a child sketches something, that this is special. Or if he just writes 2 lines of poetry, you know that this is special. I have never thought of this. So I think you have to encourage them, buy them those kind of books, expose them to, in that field, whatever is there. So similar things happened with me. They exposed me to a lot of music, taught me, in the sense, allowed me to learn from various people. So that's the most important thing.
Right, right. So at 23, you said you left your job and then do what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So my career as a singer in the advertising industry became busier and busier every day.
So you
I
had to
s-
go to studios. I mean, just want to know that period
Yeah,
of your
that
life.
period, what happened was I met people like Ranjit Barot who encouraged me very much in the beginning of my career. Ashok Patki was there that time, Nathan was there, then Louis Banks, Ehsan was a very reputed.
You had to give demo CDs like what
No,
people
I
do
had
today?
never. See,
Ah.
that's what I always feel that I'm blessed with a silver spoon, because from day one, I was always running after backlog. So it was never a period where I had to, sing for somebody or anything like that.
And the word spreads. That,
Word just spreads like wildfire.
that
If you're
there's a new singer
talented,
called Shankar. He's really talented.
yeah. If you're talented, it's like water leakage. It starts somewhere, it comes out somewhere else. So it just happened, yeah. And I think what I would advise is, it's about perseverance, and it's about just doing it again and again and again, and just following it up, but also excelling in your talent. You can't cheat yourself saying that, hey, actually I'm good. When you know that, yeah, I can be better. You should reach a stage where you yourself are convinced, and you realize that you're good, and you should know that you are. You should try to reach a stage, whether you're a drummer or a flute player or a singer or whatever, when the name gets mentioned to work with a particular singer from this city or country, your name should come at least within the first 5-7 names. You should aim towards that. Then you'll reach at least somewhere. You know what I mean? So excellence is something that you have to slog it out, man.
Okay. So how did you kind of achieve in terms of riyaz and?
Mine is a very pathetic story where I have never done riyaz that much. God has been more than kind to me, and my work plus my pursuit plus my riyaz, they are all mixed up into one, which is maybe not the case with everybody. Need not be. I was one of the lucky ones where, I got to practice when I'm on stage. I was already on stage. You know what I mean? The first break that I was with a fusion band called Divya, where some of the top musicians of the city were playing. So my practice started while performing itself. You know?
Okay.
And of course, my regular practice when I was learning my classical music, all those things happened from my guru T.R. Balamani and all those things. The fundamentals were very, very strong. I think if your fundamentals are strong, you can cut it, man.
Okay. Then slowly from ads you became a composer, or that
Yeah, all
album
that
better-
is an extension of what you are, what you want to do. Always I'm thirsty to keep on. I'm never at rest, even now, after doing so many films and so many songs that I've sung in so many languages, performed with possibly every musician in this country. But still, I feel that, honestly, I feel I've done nothing. There's so much more to do in music. There's so much, so much not to achieve. It's not about achieving. It's so much to explore. It's such a wonderful, it's a vast ocean, There's so many things that you don't know. I'd like to learn harmony. I'm so weak in harmony. So, John McLaughlin and me, we are doing a project together where we are harmonizing, very traditional kind of melodies from India, where I'm composing, sending it to him, and he's reharmonizing everything. So, trying to find things that don't exist, So, that's the beauty of music.
Correct. Besides being good at music and your own craft, whatever, like you said, if you're an instrument player or a singer, what are the other skills that a person should have in today's times? Because, like you said, you work with so many bands.
Yeah.
You are a composer yourself. You also sing for others.
Yeah.
So at you're playing different roles. So what are some of the features or things that one should do according to you?
I think the number one feature that you should have is a unique identity. You should have, if you're a vocalist, you should have a unique voice. Unique means a voice that is different from everybody else. Your name can be identified with your voice. That should happen.
But it shouldn't be artificial, right? I mean, because many people smoke to get a husky voice.
No, that's all rubbish. That's all rubbish. That's all rubbish. If you have a voice, or more than a voice, a style, which is so unique that the minute anybody hears one line of your singing on the radio or on a CD, they know, hey, this is this guy. So that means you've already carved out a niche and you carved out a space for yourself, and nobody's like you. So firstly, do not imitate Kishore Kumar, Mohammad Rafi, or the great legends, or the contemporary singers, whoever are there, the great singers like Sonu or Shan or KK or Kailash. All these people, don't imitate any of these people.
Or even you for that, man.
Sorry?
Even you for that.
No, I'm okay. So if you develop your own identity, I think automatically, when the time comes, when a song has to get tied down with your voice, that will be the striking point.
But it's like you can't give up also, no? Because you have to keep at it, you have to keep singing, you have to keep doing
It's a mind game, trust me. You have to be very conscious about what you're singing, what is your style, what you're not supposed to do, which is more important than what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You get a lot of people approaching you as SEL also to try me out, sir, and hear me out.
Yeah.
How do you kind of get those inputs, and how do you kind of handle them?
We get a lot of CDs, a lot of emails now, lots of WhatsApp messages, demos. People come into live demos for us, and we hear them out patiently, man. Each and every one of them, because if you don't, you lose out on that one probability where you might find a spark.
Right.
So, and we have found many cases where oh my God, they just blown you. So that's how it is. So we have to hear each one of them. Each one of them, yeah.
Okay.
So many are very generic voices who don't do anything to you.
Okay.
Many are voices who are imitating other people. Many are voices who have got their individual identity, but they're not musically that strong. And very few of them are there who got their own identity and musicality is very strong.
You all have given wonderful songs, melodious songs in the last 12-15 years that you all have been more, in fact.
18 years.
18 years, wow. Yeah, you all just celebrated the 15th. Of course, now trends change, you have new sounds coming in, new ways of producing, you know. However, the audience, I mean, I'm speaking as an audience, is little fed up of what is coming out these days, you know. A lot of it is coming out too often and sounds the same.
Yeah.
Uh, what is it that has happened to the music scene that we are not experimenting as much? Like Dil Chahte was a big experiment at that time. But why aren't people open to experiments and new songs, but just repeating one song is a hit, मुझे ऐसा एक बना के दो?
See, because what happens if one song becomes a massive hit, then that person is employed for a lot of projects. And because of lack of exposure to various forms of music or experimenting, that person's output gets repetitive. Because that is the limited knowledge that he's got. I always call there are two sets of musicians in this world. One is educated musicians, one is non-educated musicians. I'm talking, this is non-educated, this is uneducated music, you know, it's just fun, which sometimes I also love. I just dance to so many things, you know, some crazy songs that happen. But that's not educated music, you know what I mean? So they should coexist, yeah. Things should happen. These things have a shelf life. They come, they go, they come, they go. And this has been the history of whether it's Indian films or whether it's international pop or whatever you see, it's got its own. But I think music that's got depth, music that's got substance, music that's got lyrical content, melodic content, harmonic content will probably appeal to slightly a lesser number of people, but the shelf life is much more.
I mean, 30 years from now also people remember such songs which have depth.
I'm sure.
Like what we do for 60s today.
Exactly. I'm sure that after 20 years people will be fed up of Kal Ho Na Ho. They'll listen to the song, I'm sure.
Correct. Yeah. There is a set of musicians which is not into the Bollywood circuit. Like you are part of everything. I mean, you know, you're part of this band.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
But doing well everywhere, touch wood. So these independent musicians don't get an opportunity, you know, either to even perform because of lack of venues and stuff like that, or, you know, kind of sustain themselves in this field. So they have to end up taking a day job and just, you know, then we lose a lot of talent also because of that.
See, this is the sad fact of our country. And I have always argued with myself. I've had this fight internally and also with many people. I've asked people from the industry, I'm asking you too, whether, how can we say that in a country of more than 1 billion people, which has got so many cultures, so many folk forms, so many forms of music, 2 forms of classical music, so much music is there, so much poetry is there in this country, it's all about film music? I can't believe this. I think a platform is not created where the biggies, the big people from the film industry who have become mass hits also put in equal amount of time with equal dedication and equal perseverance on a non-film platform. See, first what happens is this platform cannot come up with newcomers and people who are not recognized, or people who are just, because they'll be squashed. I think the biggies should come together. They should create a market for a non-film platform and then encourage the new. Because I'm sure that you and me as a listener, when we put on the radio, and 50% of the responsibility is also on the people who promote the music, like radio stations, like music channels, like music companies, like live show sponsors, television channels. All these people should promote with dedication and with with the same kind of enthusiasm, even non-film music, you know. So that's when the whole market will come up. We have to create a market, otherwise it's going to be very difficult. So I think it's the responsibility of us to create that market, go ahead and give them some good music out there, because the listener, while traveling in his car, he's not bothered whether, oh, this is a non-film song, please put it off. Nobody's going to say that. If it's a good song, he'll listen to it.
That's true. There is a belief of some people, I would say, I mean, musicians also, that once you become rich, famous, known, once musicianship takes a back seat. You know, you start worrying about I want this and I want that kind of things, which is nothing to do with music itself. It's not like I want a better guitar or I want.
See,
Which
I
some
don't
musicians
blame. I don't think this has got to do anything with his success, his or her success, or richness. I think it's got to do with his own personal character. So each one varies. Yeah.
Correct.
There are people who become one-hit wonders and they're not able to handle the success that they get. You know, it's not about getting popularity. It's about how you handle it and how you sustain it and how you're able to deal with it. You know, so that is a personal characteristic, I feel, which I think you'll have to be a little careful of, because success can just get into your head and you start feeling that, oh wow, I mean, there's
How do
nobody
you
like me.
handle it? I mean, because you are known.
I don't let it bother me, boss, and
Okay.
I don't think.
Is there a switch that you have an on-off kind of?
I feel good when things that we create, I mean, it becomes hits and people love it, and all over the world people come and appreciate it. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
But I think that should not alter the way you work or alter the person that you are. That I don't let happen.
For which
Because I have a very grounded family, I have grounded foundation, and I have children, and I have a real life. It's not some superficial life that I'm leading. I have a real life which keeps me grounded, and I know this is the reality.
don't live in a bubble. Kind of.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think it can't be a better time than now, when the digital platform has opened up so much. There's so much opportunity. There's so much. You're not relying on a record label to
Promoting.
bring your song out there,
Mm.
which is visible to the public. So you can take the horse to the water, but can't make it drink. So you have the opportunity to take your horse to the water now with the digital medium, with people like you, with your channel, your platform that you have given. So I think people who are genuinely passionate should at least give it a shot. Spend some time, spend some energy, and spend some invest in your own talent. You know, invest in excellency. You should really try to get supreme in your work. You know, and then see what happens.
Shankar, thank you very much for spending time
Pleasure,
with
man.
us.
Pleasure.
I hope to see you soon.